Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mom's Basement. This is kind of our exciting episode. This is our Week 1, NFL Week 1, going through every game. I'm going to tell you who we think is going to win, maybe put a bet or two on there, and see if we can win you guys some money. But I'm Buffalo Ben. We decided to create this podcast, me and my buddy, because we talk about sports all the time at work, and our work buddies were like, hey, you might as well start making a living out of this. And so here we are today, just having some fun with it, see if anybody actually enjoys what we talk about. How's it going today, Ryan?
Oh, it's going pretty good.
Are you ready
to go see how high you are on the Chicago Bears this week, huh?
Yeah, so we have several bets that are going on. We'll talk more about that on the recap of Week 1. But we're going to go through Week 1 schedule of every game and winners and losers. Are you ready to start that, Ryan?
Let's go for it.
All right, Thursday night, opening day of the most beautiful sport to ever watch. Lions-Chiefs. Normally this would be like, really? Why would you open up with the Lions? Lions are actually up and coming.
They are. I agree with that.
I believe we both have them as close, so if not division winners this year. Who do you have and why?
I have the Chiefs, but I have it close. I think the Chiefs win by a touchdown or less.
I know in our previous, one of our previous episodes, you said the Chiefs might have Super Bowl hangover where the Lions destroy the Chiefs.
I said the Lions. I always said the Chiefs would win, but I said the Lions are going to play them tougher than people think.
Yeah, and that could be very true, but it's in Arrowhead. Have you ever been to Arrowhead?
I have not.
Arrowhead is noisy, it's loud, and on opening day, it's going to be very hard for Jared Goff to be able to call plays in that huddle.
I guess we'll see how the Lions do, because sometimes when after a good season, the next season they kind of struggle, so we'll see.
Yep, I also have the Chiefs. I would definitely take the Chiefs over 6.5. I think that'll be more of a blowout, like most people are thinking, not like you. But I have Chiefs by 18.
Wow.
Yeah, I have Travis Kelce scoring 3 touchdowns that game.
Of course you do.
All right, let's move on. We're going to go to the 1 o'clock games on Sunday. We got the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. That could be a really good game.
It could be.
I mean, the Falcons and the Panthers both have a lot to prove.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons, I think, are better on paper. The Panthers have some seasoned wide receiver veterans like Adam Thielen that can help them. My pick's the Atlanta Falcons at home.
Yeah, I agree.
I would probably take the Panthers on that spread of 3.5. I don't think that it's going to be, but maybe a 1 or 2 point win for Atlanta.
And see how the number 1 overall draft pick does in his first NFL start.
Yeah, he's a Ohio State quarterback.
Nope, he's
No,
an
Alabama. Okay, I always get C.J. Stroud mixed up.
Yep.
I know he's on the Texans. Speaking of, next game is the Texans and the Ravens. Is this even a game to talk about? It's just the Ravens straight hands
Ravens
down.
win, yep. Easily.
And you know what? I have watched Texans preseason. I don't know why, but I've clicked with the Texans this preseason, and they're not as bad as I'm giving them.
Yeah?
I have them at 0-17, but I know that I'm wrong. But I think
you definitely are wrong.
They definitely have a tough schedule that I just don't see how they can win.
I have them winning 5 games.
Yeah. I mean, and that's probably all divisional games. They have a really tough outside of the schedule.
Yeah, they do.
Bengals-Browns.
Bengals?
That's a divisional game.
It is.
In Cleveland. Healthy Joe Burrow, not healthy Joe Burrow.
Yeah, we don't know.
Well, he's not going to be 100% healthy if he plays Week 1. We already know that. We know that he's probably going to sit out Week 1.
We haven't heard anything. Cincinnati really hasn't said anything. They said they're going to be patient with him, though, so take that for what it's worth.
That's true. And that makes it very difficult to pick the
Correct.
Bengals to win.
Correct.
I will definitely have to say Browns on that game. I'm switching my pick, and I'm picking the Browns.
Yeah. Even with an injured Joe Burrow?
Even with an injured Joe Burrow.
I still think Cincinnati wins that game.
The Browns are definitely – their defense is pretty decent.
They are. I will agree with you on that, but Cleveland has to prove it to me before I pick them.
What do they have to prove?
They have to prove that they can play competent football. Deshaun Watson looked terrible at the end of last season. Granted, he was suspended. Granted, he didn't get a full offseason with them. So we'll see how it goes this year.
Yeah, especially when you're distracted with all the drama, like that situation. Like, I feel kind of bad for him, but at the same time, I mean, you do something wrong, you own up to it, and you move on.
Correct.
I think he was set up. I think this was all staged for him to stay in Houston. I think as a young guy who gets drafted in the NFL to start making millions, the leadership in Houston set him up to where it's going to be a pleasure to be in Houston, and he knew exactly where to send him to get wherever he wanted to go, and he was a star. And when he becomes a star and everything's hush-hush until he wants to leave the city that everybody adores him in, and then everything blows up. That's the part that I struggle with. That's why I give him more credit than he actually probably deserves. But I feel bad that they kind of took advantage of him, in my opinion. Because if they actually were hurt in that situation, or they didn't think that he was doing right, that most likely would have been said right then and there. It only took till he left.
Houston said they didn't know anything about that situation, which I kind of find hard to believe. If you know where you're sending your superstar quarterback to get stuff done. Like if he has anything like that, they got to send him to get massages. They got to send him to get medical treatment.
Yeah.
Even if Deshaun Watson decided to do it on his own, somebody on the Texans organization knew what was going on.
Had to have. I mean, with that, especially with that high of a number of everybody coming out and saying, he did this.
And if he did all this stuff that they were saying, and Houston didn't do anything about it originally, shame on Houston.
Yeah, I blame Houston more than I blame Deshaun, but Deshaun should have known better. He is a human.
Yeah.
He should be able to make humanistic decisions. He's not a god. He's not a hero. And I know some of these athletes think that they are, and that's what gets them in trouble.
Right.
All right, let's move on. Let's keep this football related, not political. Sorry about that, everybody. We got the Buccaneers and Vikings. That's going to be a great game.
Yes, it is.
I do believe Minnesota will stomp them.
I have Tampa Bay winning this game.
You love Baker Mayfield, don't you?
No, I just not high on Minnesota Vikings this season.
Wait, who did you draft first pick of the NFL fantasy draft this year?
Justin Jefferson.
Okay, that's enough said. Oh, who's your running back?
Travis Etienne of the Jaguars.
Who's your other running back?
It's not important.
One more time for the fans out there.
I never said their offense was bad. I drafted Alexander Madison.
So you have a lot of Vikings offense to need to score for you to win some fantasy games.
I don't trust their defense whatsoever. I never said their offense was bad, minus Kirk Cousins in primetime.
What defense can you trust? There's not a whole lot of...
San Francisco?
Yeah, okay, there might be 3 or 4 teams that you could be like, cool.
Yeah.
But
Minnesota they've lost a lot of people.
Defenses win ball games, of course, and I'm not going to downplay defense, but if your offense is producing, you don't need a defense. If your offense, like the Chiefs, can score on every drive, the defense has less pressure.
But Kirk Cousins is not Patrick Mahomes by any means.
No, and I don't think anybody in the league, if anybody's going to compete with Patrick Mahomes, it's Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. And Jalen Hurts is starting to prove himself, but we'll see how these Eagles quarterbacks go.
Yeah.
I think they get a good solid run, and they get to keep the run, and then they go downhill.
One thing about Baker Mayfield that nobody gives him credit for is he's a really good deep ball thrower. And Mike Evans can run the deep routes.
They're still stacked with wide receivers. Tampa Bay only lost Tom Brady.
Yeah, and Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, and Leonard Fournette, no offense, he's getting older. He wasn't producing like he did in Jacksonville. I think Rachaad White, that's down there right now,
He'll be just fine.
Yeah, 100%, as long as he stays healthy. You have the Buccaneers. I am going to disagree on the first time with you today so far, so Vikings on that one. All right, moving on to the Saints and Titans. This one could be a toss-up from what I picked at the beginning of the year. Now that DeAndre Hopkins is on the Tennessee Titans, the Titans' offense has boosted up.
They still got Ryan Tannehill, though.
Yeah, and the Saints.
Carr's better than Tannehill.
Maybe. Carr has had a lot of drama in his career. I mean, even though he's played for the same team in Oakland or Vegas, whatever you want to call it, when he started. He's always had a new offensive coordinator every year. And it was just like bringing in a brand new quarterback to a new system. So here we are again with David Carr in a new system. I don't think he's ready to be top dog yet. I don't think that they're going to be ready to strike the game. I have the Titans winning that game.
I have the Saints winning, even without Kamara.
Oh, yeah, Kamara is suspended, and Michael Thomas back?
He is back.
Okay, so hopefully that
They got Chris Olave. He's going to be a breakout player this year.
Olave.
Is that how you say his name?
I thought it was Olav.
Oh, I have no idea.
Chris Olave.
Olave, that sounds right.
Yep.
But anyways, he's going to be a breakout player this year.
Yeah, I could believe it.
And then they got Jamal Williams from Detroit, so he can.
I like Jamal. I think he could do really well until Kamara comes back and they start splitting it, which is only how many games? 4?
He's suspended 2.
2, so that's not bad. All right, let's move on to your team here. Jacksonville and the Indianapolis Colts. Your favorite, Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, my Colts. I'm excited to see what Anthony Richardson does.
How can you biasly pick the Colts in this game?
I can't.
So, Jacksonville?
I have Jacksonville winning, but I still think Indianapolis is going to be better than people give them credit for.
Which is not a lot of credit.
There's a lot of people thinking they're going to be the worst team in the league, and I do not agree with that statement whatsoever.
Not anymore. I'm definitely going with the Arizona Cardinals being the worst team in the league. And I still think Colts are better than Houston.
Yeah, I think they're better than Tennessee.
Yeah, I think they're better than Carolina, too. Not Tennessee, no, sir.
Yes.
All right, we're moving on to the 49ers and Steelers.
This is going to be a good game.
No way. I mean,
Yes.
ESPN says good game. You say good game. Man, I am not confident in the Steelers whatsoever.
San Francisco is going to win the game, but Pittsburgh's going to have a really good season.
The spread is 2.5. That's not even a field goal. You're talking a top team in the NFC against the Steelers, a 2.5 spread. That just shows you how tough the AFC is, first of all. Second of all, the 49ers are just so good all around the ball. I don't see how the Steelers don't lose by 21.
No, it's going to be within 10.
Do you think it's above 3.5 or 2.5?
Mm-hmm.
So you think the spread's whack?
Mm-hmm.
I do too. I think ESPN's favoring the Steelers a little bit more than they should. 49ers, obvious pick in that one, correct?
49ers are going to win that game by 10.
By 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving 18.5, 19.
That's a lot for an NFL game.
It is, but 49ers, Steelers, I mean, I remember watching the 5th grade team play the 8th grade team.
That's not even close.
We got Cardinals and Commanders. This is another 1 o'clock game.
I have to change my pick on this because when I originally did these projections, I thought Kyler Murray was going to be playing, but he's still on the PUP list, missing at least the first 4 weeks of the season. And being in Washington, I'm picking Washington.
See, I never had the Cardinals winning. I think I had the Cardinals losing the first 8 games. Now I think I could have them losing the first 12 games.
Maybe, I have them.
Maybe losing all of them.
I have them losing every game until they play the Rams at home in Week 12.
I believe if I were the Cardinals and their organization, I'd be throwing this year. I wouldn't be playing Kyle Murray. I wouldn't be playing. I just, after him tearing his ACL, I'd baby the crap out of it. Get the first overall pick, get him some extra help, trade out some players, which they already have, trade James Conner, and just completely rebuild around Kyle Murray. Or, honestly, trade Kyle Murray and just rebuild completely.
That's a big cap hit they'd take. I don't think they'd want to do that.
Possibly. I know there's a couple teams that are dumb enough to take cap hits, like Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Russell Wilson. We were so hard on him last year. Oh, 425 game. Guess what? Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos versus the Vegas Raiders. Talk to me, Chief. This could be a good game. This could be the game that I watch at 425.
I'm not high on either team, but I'm kind of interested to see what Sean Payton does with Denver this year.
I still think it could be a fluke with Russell Wilson kind of tanking last year to get the coach fired to get Sean Payton.
I have Denver winning this game.
Do you think Russell Wilson's a competitor?
I do.
He did not show that last year. The first game of the year when it was 3rd and like 20, and he threw the ball. They got 15 yards. It was 4th and 5 right at the 50-yard line. They decided to elect to kick a field goal to tie or to win the game. I don't remember how much they were down by. But they had time on the clock where they could run a quick play, get a first down, move it up. They had time. They paid this quarterback millions of dollars for 5 more yards. And they brought in the kicker, and Russell Wilson was like, okay, cool. Like, the competitive spirit, I believe Russell Wilson has. I just feel like he put on an act last year just so he could get the coach fired and bring in Sean Payton.
Well, if you mercifully watched that Thursday night game against Indianapolis last year, that was rough. Russell Wilson was not the same Russell Wilson he was in Seattle. I don't know what the heck was going on with that.
The only logical explanation I have is he tanked it on purpose, or he's really just not that good.
Because there is no way the Colts should have won that game.
You think it could be a system thing too? Like,
Geno Smith played good in Seattle last year.
Yeah, Geno Smith didn't play good at any other team. I mean, he played decent. He was able to win games, but
yeah,
no, like he was actually favored to win some games this year in Seattle. Like, it was a shock.
Pete Carroll just that good a coach.
And maybe Russell Wilson fit that system. And maybe it's kind of like San Francisco. You don't have to be an all-star quarterback to play in San Francisco.
Right.
Which, okay, cool. But as good as Russell Wilson seemed to be, how much of these quarterbacks in history can you think of be like, okay, if he didn't play for this team, would they be that good? Like, let's even talk about Tom Brady in New England. If he didn't have Bill Belichick and he didn't have the system, would he be as elite as he is today?
Probably not.
But he's right now the greatest quarterback to play the game.
Well, we'll talk about that in another show. Let's get on to the football.
I almost had you.
Let's get on to week 1.
I almost had you agreeing with me. Oh, come on. All right, moving on. Another 4:25 game. We have the Dolphins-Chargers.
I like Miami.
I picked Tua, so I'm going to go with Miami. Chargers defense, though, I think is the best defense on paper in the NFL.
I'm not high on Justin Herbert. I think he's an overrated quarterback.
That's sad. That's sad for you to say. He hasn't had a lot of help. His help always gets hurt. When his help is there, he's almost unstoppable.
Everybody's saying that he's a top 5 quarterback. I don't see it.
You have to be mobile to be a top 5 quarterback right now. He's not top 5. Every quarterback in the top 5 right now is mobile.
And I have the Chargers winning 7 games this year, so that's why I'm not that high on the Chargers.
I could make a bet with you on that one. That would be fun. I bet you the Chargers at least get second in their division.
I have them second in their division.
Oh.
What's I have Denver and Las Vegas winning 6.
What do you have as the record?
7-10.
Okay, I'll bet you right now that the Chargers have a winning record by the end of the year.
A winning record by the end of the year.
Yeah. They're going to be above 500.
Let me think about that.
What do you have them at?
7-10.
So that's 2 extra games. I'm giving you a +2 on your 7 and 10.
Because some of these games are kind of flip-flop. They could win or lose.
Like which ones?
Like I have them beating Buffalo at home. They could lose that game. And then I also have them.
Wait, you have the Chargers beating Buffalo at home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they could lose that game, you said, so that would add a loss, not a win.
Yeah, but also...
We're talking about your losses here.
I have them losing to Tennessee. That could go either way. I have them losing to Dallas. That could go either way. And I have them losing to Chicago. That could go either way.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of coin flip games right there.
Yeah, but with your wins and losses, too. I feel like you have half wins, half losses. I'm egging you in on this bet because I know you're wrong. And I feel like you know you're wrong, too. You're just not going to admit it. If you think you're right, you would bet me right now that...
We'll talk about it off air.
We'll have to bring the bets to air. That's the best part.
Yeah, we'll let you know my final decision.
Okay, so you have the Dolphins winning and the Chargers winning.
Yep.
Yep, that wasn't a yes or no question.
I have the Dolphins winning.
Dolphins. You know what? I'm going with the Chargers just to irritate you, even though I picked Tua in fantasy. You know what? I hope it's a high-scoring game because I have Tua in fantasy. He's on my trading block.
I'm sure he is.
Next one is Eagles-Patriots.
I got Philadelphia winning this game.
I think it won't be close, but here we go again with the ESPN at 4.5. AFC versus NFC.
I think Philadelphia wins by 10.
At least 10.
At least 10.
I'd give it another, Buffalo Ben 18.5 point spread.
That's a lot.
That's 3 games I've given an 18.5 point spread.
That's a lot.
That's just more of me saying it's going to be a blowout than an actual spread. Trust me, don't bet on that, guys. Don't say 18.5. That's wrong. All right, moving on. Yeah, too bad that game was boring. Eagles, Patriots. Won't be watching that much.
No, probably not.
All right, the Packers versus the Bears.
You go.
I don't
first.
even want to hear you say you're picking the Bears in this.
I am picking the Bears.
I mean, as bad as the Packers seem on paper, the Bears could win this game, and I'm not going to be upset about it. What I actually picked was Chicago to win. But because you're so high on Chicago, I'm rooting for the Green Bay Packers.
I'm sure you are, but
I will probably be buying a Packers jersey this year just for this reason.
I'm not a Bears fan by any means, but they're going to have a really good season this year.
Are you kidding me? You're not a Bears fan, I understand. You're a Colts fan diehard for sure.
Yes.
But if Justin Fields asked you out on a date, you're going. That's how high you are on Justin Fields this year.
I'm really high on Justin Fields. You're correct, yes.
So you would go on a date with him.
I wouldn't go that far.
If he was buying steaks, you would go.
If he was buying steaks, I would probably go. I don't know how my wife would feel about me going on a date with another man, but that's a whole different story.
Oh, man, I'm glad I got this on film. We're taking this back to work. This is great. All right.
Next game.
Last game of the 425s, Rams, Seattle.
Seattle, no question.
Seahawks, Rams. Man, the Rams, I'm disappointed in.
They sold their soul for a Super Bowl that one year.
They sure did. I mean, Stafford was all their trades that they did to make that Super Bowl was perfect. But, man, if they could have kept one more year together, one more year of health, I don't think the Eagles would have made it to the NFC Championship last year. I think the 49ers would have represented the NFC.
The 49ers would have represented the NFC if they had had a quarterback. All their quarterbacks were hurt in the NFC Championship game.
Hey, Christian McCaffrey could play that quarterback position, and he did it like a boss.
Like I said, Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt. They're in the
That's
Super
true.
Bowl.
Honestly, I'm a Brock Purdy bandwagon. I'm going to jump on that bandwagon with Brock Purdy because, 1, he was the last pick of the draft. 2, he's very humble. He wins games. He likes his team. He's a leader.
Talk about wanting to go on a date with somebody.
Dude, I'd go on a date with Brock Purdy. I don't know how many other people wouldn't do that, but are you kidding me? The amount of autographs and stuff, man, that guy's got to be a genuinely honest, cool dude.
Yeah, I like Brock Purdy too.
So, all right.
Where are we at? Sunday night?
We talked about Brock Purdy and didn't talk about the Rams or Seahawks game. Geno Smith, the winner.
Geno Smith, yes.
Yep, that's pretty obvious because the Rams are hurt.
Tyler Lockett, 3 touchdowns.
No, 2. Oh, you have none.
I have him in fantasy.
He's going to have 3 catches for -5 yards.
Well, I'm not even playing you. Come on now.
All right, Cowboys, Giants.
This one could go either way, honestly. That's a tough call, but I like the Giants.
Oh, see, now here's the thing. Not being biased, I hate the Cowboys. I hate everything about the Cowboys. I hate their fan base.
Just because they beat Buffalo twice in the Super Bowls.
Well, that's history that we forget about. A lot of Cowboys fans, they're tough to be around. They're tough. They always think their team's going to be good. You can straight up look them in the face and be like,
"We're winning the Super Bowl this year."
Yeah, you can look them in the face and say, stop. Enough. If you think every year you're going to win the Super Bowl, just wait till week 7 when you're crying. Come on, let's be real. Until Jerry Jones is out of that organization, I can guarantee you the Cowboys will never win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he won't give up general manager duties. If he gave up somebody actually knew what they were doing, they would be a little bit more competitive.
And again, I still think the Cowboys are better than the Giants. And we also have a coworker that likes the Giants, so as much as it pains me to say this, I'm picking the Cowboys.
I think it's a coin flip. I think the Giants win this one, but it could go either way. I have both these teams finish the season at the same record. So.
Man, you know the Giants are always well coached, and they never have all-star players all the time. Their all-stars always make plays, and the only reason I know that is because when we watched Eli Manning go 2-0 against the GOAT, and who's the GOAT?
He didn't play Peyton Manning.
Tom Brady in the Super Bowl 2-0. The only quarterback to be undefeated against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
That is incorrect.
Who else beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl?
Nick Foles.
Did he play him twice?
Nope.
No, just once.
Just
Okay,
once.
that makes sense. Nick Foles and Eli Manning. Eli Manning's 2, though, is way more impressive than Nick Foles' 1. But Nick Foles was a backup quarterback.
Don't forget about the Philly special.
That was great. Nick Foles, I still have your jersey and every team you play for. All right, the best game of the year, Monday night, the Buffalo Super Bowl champions
I wouldn't go that far.
this year. Buffalo Bills versus the old Jets. Oh, let me get a cane.
The New York Packers, you
The
mean?
New York Packers. You know, the spread's only 2. ESPN, you're high. Just whoever made that spread, you're high. Aaron Rodgers is not that great. He's better than me, but he's not that great. He's not even in the top 10 quarterback list.
You don't have Dalvin Cook changing your outcome any?
I have Desmond Ridder being better than Aaron Rodgers this year.
Wow.
And that's going to be a fact. Stamp it. Mark it.
I do have the Jets winning 9 games this year, but I also have Buffalo winning 11.
And who do you have in this game?
My heart wants the Jets to win just to irritate you, but I picked the Bills to win it.
Yes, you can't pick against the Bills. Not with a healthy Josh Allen, a ready-to-win Stephon Diggs. I mean, you got Gabe Davis, bro. Gabe Davis. Number 2 wide receiver. Could be a potential number 1.
Hopefully he has 15 touchdowns this year.
You got James Cook, brothers of Dalvin Cook, the really all-star that was in Minnesota. Now it's going to be cool to see the Cook brothers go head-to-head. That's going to be great. I think I might buy a Dalvin Cook Jets jersey, as much as it pains me to say that, but you know what? No. I just regretted everything I just said there.
Yeah.
I heard words come out of my mouth
Like,
and
what are you
instantly
doing?
regretted it.
That's like me trying to buy a Derrick Henry jersey.
Why wouldn't you want a Derrick Henry jersey, though?
Because he plays for the stinking Titans, that's why.
He's going to go down as the greatest running back of all time.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
He's the only running back in the NFL that I'd pay.
He's probably one of the best running backs in the league now. But all time, no.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see when it's all said and done, but
Yeah.
no.
Emmitt Smith is up there. But if you play for the Cowboys, it doesn't count. So then who's your real stud running back? Who's the best running back in the world?
3 running backs that I think are 1A, B, and C.
Okay.
That's Walter Payton, that's Jim Brown, and that's Barry Sanders.
Oh, see, I forgot about Barry Sanders for a minute. Even though I don't forget about Barry Sanders, Barry Sanders, but yeah.
You got to throw Jim Brown in that too.
Yep. Ever since I've watched football, though, as big as Derrick Henry is, I would pay him to not play against him. I think of all the running back situations right now where they're pay me, I don't think any of them is worth it except Derrick Henry.
Jonathan Taylor's definitely not worth it. And that's coming from a Colts fan.
Jonathan Taylor, he was good. Was good.
We don't even know if he can run the ball right now. We don't even know if he can walk across the street because all he's doing is sitting in the corner of the field pouting.
That's true. And he just come back from injury, so I think he's going to be an Indianapolis Colt this year or a Buffalo Bill.
No, he's probably going to end up in Miami or Philly.
I watched ESPN. The Bills are one of those teams that they're saying, you need to get them. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think James Cook is going to be a great number 1 back.
I agree with that. I think he's going to be a sleeper in fantasy. I think he's going to be a good number 1 back for Buffalo to get the job done what they need, as long as Josh Allen doesn't keep throwing the ball to the other team like he did last year.
Yeah, we have a problem with interceptions, but you know what? Our defense kept us alive where we could rely on our offense to win, and hopefully this year Josh Allen's distractions are gone and he can focus just on the game of football.
And hopefully you guys have a healthy Von Miller. So.
Yep, he said he's going to be back week 1, but no later than week 4. So, all right, folks, that wraps up the Bills winning Monday Night Football of week 1. Again, thanks for listening to Mom's Basement with Buffalo Ben and Beef here. We'll see you guys on our next episode. Thank you.